Welcome to Mwaki Insights. Today, we're unraveling Zimbabwe's gold-backed currency crisis, a financial experiment that seemed poised for success, but has now plunged the nation into economic turmoil. What happened to Zimbabwe's ZiG currency, and what are the global lessons? Let's dive deep into the ZiG, its collapse, and what this means for Africa and the world. In the heart of southern Africa, Zimbabwe embarked on a bold experiment, a gold-backed currency known as the Zimbabwe Gold ZiG. This ambitious endeavor aimed to stabilize the nation's tumultuous economy, plagued by years of hyperinflation and currency devaluation. Zimbabwe has long grappled with hyperinflation, a legacy of economic mismanagement and political instability. The ZiG, launched with much fanfare in 2019, was touted as a beacon of hope, promising to restore trust in the financial system. However, the experiment quickly unraveled, raising questions about the viability of gold-backed currencies in modern economies. The ZiG's collapse was a stark reminder of the challenges in currency creation, especially in a country with deep-seated economic issues. It underscored the delicate interplay between economic fundamentals, market confidence, and the need for robust financial policies. Zimbabwe's golden gamble became a cautionary tale, highlighting the unintended consequences of ambitious monetary experiments. Zimbabwe's economic woes are deeply rooted in its history, with a legacy of financial instability. The nation has been plagued by hyperinflation for decades, a consequence of economic mismanagement, rampant corruption, and prolonged political turmoil. The first major episode of hyperinflation occurred in the early 2000s, wiping out the savings of millions and plunging the country into economic chaos. During this period, the Zimbabwean dollar rapidly depreciated, leading to severe shortages of basic goods and skyrocketing prices. The government's response was to print more money, exacerbating the problem and fueling a vicious cycle of hyperinflation. The economic crisis had devastating social consequences, leading to widespread poverty, soaring unemployment, and significant social unrest. The memory of this period continues to haunt Zimbabwe, casting a long shadow over its economic prospects and policy decisions. The introduction of the Zimbabwean gold, ZiG, was an ambitious attempt to break free from this cycle of hyperinflation, but it ultimately failed to exorcise the ghosts of currencies past. The collapse of the Zimbabwean gold-backed currency, or ZiG, was driven by a complex interplay of factors. A critical issue was the lack of market confidence in the new currency, which was evident from the outset. Despite being backed by gold, the ZiG struggled to gain acceptance among businesses and consumers. This reluctance stemmed from Zimbabwe's turbulent history of hyperinflation and economic mismanagement, which left deep scars. The launch of the ZiG was marred by logistical challenges and technical difficulties, further eroding trust. Additionally, government interference in the economy played a significant role in undermining the currency. Stringent controls over the ZiG discouraged much-needed foreign investment, exacerbating the crisis. External economic shocks, such as the global slowdown and the COVID-19 pandemic, further strained the situation. These pressures compounded the ZiG's challenges, making recovery increasingly difficult. Ultimately, the collapse underscored the critical importance of sound economic fundamentals and robust market confidence for any currency to succeed. The collapse of the Zimbabwean gold-backed currency, or ZiG, had devastating consequences for ordinary Zimbabweans. The currency's rapid depreciation led to a resurgence of hyperinflation, eroding the purchasing power of their savings and plunging them deeper into poverty. Prices of basic goods and services skyrocketed, making it increasingly difficult for families to make ends meet. Food insecurity became widespread, with many struggling to afford even the most basic necessities. According to the World Food Programme, over 7.7 million Zimbabweans faced food shortages in 2020. The economic crisis also had a profound impact on healthcare and education. Hospitals were overwhelmed with patients, and schools faced severe shortages of teachers and resources. Healthcare facilities struggled to cope with the influx of patients, while educational institutions were crippled by a lack of funding and staff. The ZiG's collapse exacerbated existing inequalities, pushing the most vulnerable segments of society further into poverty and despair. The human cost of the currency's failure was immense, leaving scars on the lives of millions of Zimbabweans. The long-term effects continue to be felt as the nation grapples with rebuilding its economy and social fabric. echoes of independence Africa's quest for monetary sovereignty. The ZiG experiment resonated beyond Zimbabwe's borders, particularly in other African nations grappling with their economic challenges and seeking greater monetary sovereignty. Many African countries have long sought to break free from the economic chains of their colonial past. The allure of a gold-backed currency, seen as a potential shield against the volatility of global financial markets, held particular appeal for countries with a history of colonial exploitation and dependence on external financial institutions. This idea was not just about economic stability, but also about reclaiming a sense of autonomy and control over their financial destiny. The ZiG's failure, however, served as a cautionary tale, highlighting the complexities and risks associated with such endeavors. It revealed the intricate balance required between ambition and practicality. It underscored the need for careful planning, sound economic policies, and strong institutions to ensure the success of any alternative currency regime. The lessons learned from Zimbabwe's experience are invaluable for other nations considering similar paths. The experiment also sparked broader conversations about the future of money in the digital age, particularly in the context of emerging technologies like cryptocurrencies and central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. As Africa continues to innovate, these discussions are more relevant than ever, offering new avenues for achieving monetary sovereignty. The global financial stage perspectives from afar. The international community, including global financial institutions like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank, closely monitored Zimbabwe's gold-backed currency experiment. The IMF has consistently advocated for fiscal discipline and market-oriented reforms in Zimbabwe, viewing them as essential for achieving long-term economic stability. The launch of the Zimbabwean gold-backed currency, or ZiG, was met with skepticism from these institutions. Concerns were raised about its potential to exacerbate inflation and undermine efforts to stabilize the economy. The IMF and World Bank emphasized the importance of addressing underlying structural issues, such as corruption, government mismanagement, and lack of investor confidence, as crucial steps towards sustainable economic recovery. The collapse of the ZiG reinforced their position, highlighting the limitations of quick fixes and the necessity for comprehensive economic reforms. These institutions continue to play a significant role in Zimbabwe's economic recovery efforts, providing financial assistance and technical expertise. Their ongoing involvement underscores the global commitment to supporting Zimbabwe's path to economic stability. A house-divided political fault lines in the currency crisis. The ZiG experiment not only exposed, but also deepened existing political fault lines within Zimbabwe. The ruling party, ZANU-PF, championed the gold-backed currency as a symbol of national sovereignty and a panacea for the country's economic woes. However, opposition parties lambasted the move as a desperate attempt to maintain power, predicting it would lead to further economic instability. The collapse of the ZiG fueled widespread accusations of economic mismanagement and corruption, further eroding public trust in the government. This crisis ignited protests and demonstrations, underscoring the growing discontent with the ruling elite. The currency crisis became a lightning rod for broader grievances, including political repression, economic inequality, and lack of opportunities, reflecting the deep-seated issues plaguing the nation. Beyond Zimbabwe's borders, lessons for a globalized world. Zimbabwe's gold-backed currency experiment offers critical insights for nations exploring alternative currency models, especially in today's interconnected and technologically advanced global economy. It highlights the necessity of robust economic fundamentals, political stability, and market confidence as pillars for currency stability. The failure of the ZiG also emphasizes the importance of meticulous planning, stakeholder engagement, and strong institutional frameworks to support any currency reform. Additionally, it underscores the need to address underlying structural issues, such as corruption, government mismanagement, and lack of investor confidence, which are vital for sustainable economic recovery. Zimbabwe's experience serves as a cautionary tale, urging policymakers to proceed with caution, learn from past mistakes, and adapt to the evolving global financial landscape. Charting a new course, navigating Zimbabwe's economic future. In the aftermath of the Zimbabwean gold-backed currency's collapse, the nation faces the daunting task of charting a new course towards economic recovery and stability. addressing the root causes of the country's economic woes, including rampant hyperinflation, systemic corruption, and a severe lack of investor confidence, is paramount. This requires a multi-pronged approach, encompassing stringent fiscal discipline, comprehensive structural reforms, and concerted efforts to improve the overall business environment. Re-engaging with international financial institutions, such as the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank, is crucial for accessing much-needed financial assistance and technical expertise. This collaboration could pave the way for sustainable economic growth and development. The promise of tomorrow: hope and resilience in the face of adversity. Despite the immense challenges, there is a glimmer of hope for Zimbabwe's economic future. The country is endowed with vast natural resources, including gold, diamonds, and platinum, which can be pivotal in driving economic growth. With a young and growing population, Zimbabwe has the potential to harness a dynamic workforce and a resilient spirit. By leveraging these strengths, alongside sound economic policies and political stability, Zimbabwe can pave the way for a brighter future. Investing in education, healthcare, and infrastructure is essential for unlocking the country's human capital and fostering sustainable economic growth. Recent initiatives have shown promise, such as the expansion of rural healthcare services and the construction of new schools. Creating a conducive business environment characterized by transparency, accountability, and the rule of law can attract foreign investment and spur private sector-led growth. The government has been working on reforms to improve the ease of doing business, which is crucial for economic recovery. Zimbabwe's journey towards economic recovery will be long and arduous, but with determination, collaboration, and a commitment to reform, a brighter future is within reach. The resilience of the Zimbabwean people remains a beacon of hope for the nation's revival. Conclusion: a nation at a crossroads. Zimbabwe's gold-backed currency experiment, though ambitious, ultimately failed to deliver on its promise of economic stability. The collapse of the Zimbabwean gold (ZiG) currency highlighted the intricate challenges of currency management, the critical importance of sound economic fundamentals, and the necessity for political will to implement essential reforms. As Zimbabwe stands at a crossroads, it faces a pivotal decision: continue down the path of economic mismanagement and political instability, or embrace a new era of reform, transparency, and accountability. Recent efforts to stabilize the economy have shown promise, but much work remains. The path forward will not be easy, but it is the only way to unlock Zimbabwe's vast potential and secure a brighter future for its people. Investment in education, agriculture, and infrastructure will be key. The world is watching, hoping that Zimbabwe will seize this opportunity to create a more prosperous and equitable society. The stakes have never been higher, and the choices made today will shape the nation's future for generations to come. Thanks for watching Milwaukee Insights. If you found this deep dive into Zimbabwe's currency crisis informative, give us a like, share with friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Let us know if you think Zimbabwe can recover from this crisis. What lessons should other countries take from Zimbabwe's experience? Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep questioning the world around you.